Today I'm going to set up a weatherproof SAE style quick connect directly to the battery. This is going to be to work directly with this SAE style connector on this Trickle charger. It'll be on a 2002 C5Z06. The battery's already been removed. All you have to do is take out this hole down and remove the two terminals. To remove the terminals, you're going to need an 8mm box end, and then you'll need a short extension and a 14mm socket. I guess that's a medium-sized extension to get the battery tie down out. Done some measurements, and I'm going to use this button here, this Christmas tree pin, kind of hard to point to it here, as the center for where the cables are going to come through. And then looking through the fender, here's where it lies. So I've got a nice flat surface. It's about the same diameter, and it'll fit that diameter. And I've already got a hole at the center of it. I didn't show this earlier, but I did confirm that the red and the black pair up with the red and the black here. You got to be careful with SE connectors because sometimes you'll find an adapter in the middle and it reverses it. So just pay attention. So I got this off Amazon. It came with a bunch of fuses. I'm going to put a 2-amp fuse in here because that's just a really slow trickle charger. And for the size of the hole, this diameter, I didn't get my mites out, but that diameter is about 7/8, and also the fattest part here is also about 7/8. All right, I got one of my Christmas tree tools here. It's kind of like a fork at the end. I'm just going to use this to pry it out. All right, I got that Christmas tree out. It was actually quite destructive. Back in the wheel well here, I did lift this corner of the car up just so I could get some better access. And I am going to use, where is it here? This 7/8 spade bit to run through there. I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and do it. All right, so I only hit it with a vacuum. Here's the rough cut on the fender side, by the tire. Here's the rough cut on the other side. I'm going to use this tool, which is for cleaning up a lot of fine metal items, just to smooth out those holes. All right, so here's the one side, still looks a little rough. And here's the fiberglass side. So Amazon sent screws, but I'm actually going to run these bolts through it, and I'm going to run them with a spring washer and a regular washer. Using this guy here, I want to run through holes, so I'm going with 5/32. Since it's a few different pieces of plastic here that need to line up, I'm going to pass this assembly through, orient it how I want, and then I'm going to drill the 4 holes while it's in place. I've got what should have been the largest part through, right? Pass it through like that. This is loosely in place. After I have it all secured, I'll actually run a silicone bead on this side and probably on the other side as well. So the negative cable I'm going to run back behind this fuse box. I'm going to just drop it down underneath where the latches are on the other side. That'll come right around here. And I did have to open these up slightly, this diameter, to get them to fit over here. And then for the positive cable, I'm going to try to have it loop like this, or maybe on the other side. I'll figure that out shortly. One thing that I definitely did want, though, was to try to orient this way, or perhaps vertically, where gravity wasn't going to pull the cap down, versus if it was like this. So I took this cover off just so I could run this cable behind there. That's just loosely secured. So that's kind of tucked out of the way, no sharp edges, it's running along the plastic. This one I'm going to run through here. There are a lot of sharp edges here. I could pull out the Tessa tape and wrap this too. But I want this to be able to move enough that I can get to the fuse. So I'm going to have this somewhere on the side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this 2-amp fuse in here, and I'm going to actually put a bunch of dielectric grease all over the place. So I'm not going to show that in the video. So I have this in the orientation that I want it, and I'm holding onto the back side of the connector, pulling it to where I want it. And then on this side, I'm going to, while I'm holding it, do the 4 holes. So I'm going to use this drill, and I'm not going to be able to record it. Well, so it turns out that I'm out of silicone, so I'll have to seal that up later on both sides. But for now, I put one in, and between this hole and this hole, the whole thing has been indexed now and it's positioned fully. So what I'm going to do is drill the other 3, and I ended up having to use the next size larger bolt or screw that I had in my bin. But I'll probably trim them down or use some shorter ones when I go to get the silicone. I'll just get some shorter ones too. All right, this end's done. Like I said, they're longer than I wanted, but I got to come back in here and silicone this side and the other end anyway. I've dropped the battery in. I'm going to manually place this. So the battery's aligned, and I'm just turning this by hand for now, and then I'll tighten it down. All right, the battery is hooked up and secure. All right, the car's lowered. You can see it's plugged in there and hooked up to my turbocharger. When we're done, we'll disconnect it, and then we'll seal that cap. And that's supposed to be a weatherproof seal. So all I'll do is silicone these, and we're good.